Hi, my name is Mateo Shattah and I'm going to talk about what I'm going to say in this video essay. During this second term in the philosophy class, we have seen that what is truth, what is a lie, and what is bullshit. And according to this, we have decided to make a video essay explaining what is truth from the perspective of a character from a movie and from the perspective of a general movie, taking into account the problematic that we see in that movie. The movie that I chose is called The Case of Christ. The reason I chose this movie is because I'm very interested in movies that talks about Christ and talks about religion. The reason behind that is because I'm an atheist, and in the movie the main character, Liz, he is also an atheist, and that's the reason that I feel that I connected with him, and also because in my life it is very hard to be an atheist person because everybody around you is a Christian, starting from my country, which is Colombia, and everybody in Colombia, there are Christian people, like not everybody, but most of them. I came from a school where every Friday we go to church. My family is a Christian people, so for me it has been different than most of the people. And when I see this movie of two people that are atheists, especially Lee, who is the main character, who is an atheist, and start to research about the truth from the Christian perspective. So that's why I chose this movie. Now, let's talk about my purpose to this work. The Case of Christ is a movie based on a true story that occurs in Chicago in the 80s, where a famous newspaper, Lee, was on a restaurant where her daughter was eating a candy and she showed with it. When suddenly a nurse show up. The scene shows basically how Lee and his wife were on the restaurant and her daughter starts to choke and they thought she was going to die. But suddenly the nurse, who was like a saver because she ended up saving the life of their children, and then this is the amazing part of that scene. The woman, that the that Lee's wife approaches to the woman, says, "Thank you so much for saving my daughter's life." And what the nurse says is, "Don't thank me, thank Jesus." And she said, "Why?" And she said back, "The reason why I am here is because Jesus told me to be here." So that is the moment when Lee's wife started to think more of a religion to be truth, and that is when the main problem of this whole movie starts to appear, like the fight between the truth of Lee, which is facts, and the belief of her wife, which is faith. And in that moment, Lee says that he needs to prove that Christianity is not real. He needs to find facts, and the reason to do that is to to convert her wife into an atheist person again. So he has a fellow partner in the newspaper company he work at. How can I defeat the Christianity? And the answer is just prove that Jesus never existed. So, and that's basically the main idea of the movie. Lee trying to prove to her wife that by facts, which is the truth of Lee, that Christianity doesn't exist, and her wife tries to prove that she believes in faith and that God is real because she believed that. And in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'm going to explain and show the scenes of the movie where this happened.
Cough, baby. Cough, baby. She's coughing. She's fine now. She's fine.
Okay, just breathe.
Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.
I don't know how to thank you.
You don't have to thank me. I'm a nurse at Mercy Hospital. She's gonna be fine now.
We are so lucky.
Well, it's not luck. It's Jesus. My husband and I were on our way to another restaurant tonight. Something told me I need to be here.
Wow, thank you.
Now I'm going to talk about the truth from the perspective of Lee.
The only way to truth is through facts. Facts are our greatest weapon against superstition, against ignorance, and against tyranny.
As we just saw, he said that the truth is the only way through facts. Facts are the greatest weapons to superstition, ignorance, and against tyranny. So what he's trying to say is that the way to truth is through facts. As we have seen in the class, there are many different ways to see the truth, and we saw that there are three different theories of truth. But at the end, I consider that every man has his own definition of truth, and the definition of truth is through facts. But what does he mean with facts? Fact for him is something you can see, something that is tangible, something that you can experience with, something that you know exists, something that is there. So why is religion not a fact? Why he says as an atheist person that Jesus is not the Son of God. God doesn't exist because you cannot see God, you cannot feel God, you cannot touch God. So for him, there is no God. But now I'm going to show you one of the most iconic scenes in the whole movie. That is when he discusses with her wife the meaning and the reason why he says that God is not real, and the answer, and which would be the whole counter argument of facts as a truth, would be what his wife says. And his wife told him basically, like, for me, uh, for me, truth is something I believe, something I can feel. And she basically says, like, I know I love you. I know I cannot feel that I love you. I know I cannot see that I love you, but I know that I do, and that is the same that my feeling for Jesus. I cannot see Jesus, but I know I love him. I know I know I can see like the feeling I have for him.
I get that you want this to be true. But what if it's not? Wouldn't you want to know that before you've dedicated your entire life to it?
Of course. But what if it is? What if it is true? Wouldn't you want to know that? There's a verse that says, faith is the evidence of things we can't actually see. You believe what you can see and touch and feel. And I feel this. I can see it.
Les.
I know it.
You can't.
But I do. It's the same way I know I love you.
Well, to conclude, I just want to establish that I just showed the two different truths that is shown in the movie, the one of facts and the one of belief, the one of Lee and the one of her wife. And at the end, it ended up on Lee. Through facts, he searched to the to like through facts, which is what he wanted, and he ended up seeing that Jesus did die. There is 500 witnesses that saw Jesus die and 500 witnesses that saw Jesus resurrect. There is like a ton of proof that proved that Jesus did exist and that he did perform miracles. And if a human can perform miracles, therefore God is real. And that is the conclusion that Lee ended up with. But the amazing thing of this movie is that a person ended up proving religion. And people always think of religion as something you believe in. You say, like, why are you Christian? And they say, well, I have faith on God. But finally someone proven why you need to believe in God, and through history he did prove that not everything you find on the Bible, that everything you can be found on science, on history, and that's the amazing and wonderful thing of this movie, and it is the reason why I chose it, because by truth and by facts, which is the truth that Lee talks about, not belief, he could prove something that no one have ever done to prove. And that's it. That's basically this essay. I hope you like it, and that is the relationship between the truth of facts and the truth of belief.